Tell me about the action. I mean, the fights, the running, the chasing, the favela sequence, the fight between the Dwayne and Vin. How do you plan that?
I think every time you get to make a sequel, it's a privilege. It means that the audience wants to see more. So you have to set the bars higher, and you have to have a good reason why you make it. And I think for this one, it became very clear to me that we want to get everybody back together, a reunion of all the characters from the other Fast. And I think that was exciting to me. But by doing that, it also triggered a new character, which is Hobbs, played by The Rock. And as soon as I had, once Dwayne signed on, I knew we had to have a showdown. That's what everybody is waiting for. I was growing up in the 80s. It's equivalent to, back then, Schwarzenegger and Stallone getting into the same movie. They had to fight. So it really upped our game. I think that everybody came ready to play, and it made my job much more fun.
It looks great, man.
Thank
Congratulations. And also, the actors, can they real drive fast in the movie, or for security reasons they just pretend and then the double stunts made it?
It's a little bit, but I think that we have some really great drivers in this cast, and everybody wants to drive fast. But I need them to finish the movie. So, the great thing is that they, with this budget, usually the fun part is before we start shooting, we will rent out a whole racetrack, and everybody goes and just drive around for a week. Just keep driving. So they really get a sense of what it's like to drive fast and to do all the maneuvers and stuff like that. And that really helps, when we shoot it for real.
As a director, what is your favorite part? The pre-production, the shooting, or the post-production?
Each of them had their own challenges, and I enjoy it for different reasons, and it's, the one thing I can tell you for certain is that it should not be easy. I think it's the most difficult thing. You have, different personalities, you have different challenges every day. Sometimes you shoot a big action sequence and you're like, oh, we finished it. And the next day you have a scene with 2 jokes and you want to make sure the jokes work. So that's sometimes more of a challenge in the action sequence.
Yeah, because the timing is very important.
Yeah, so it's part of my job. I love it, and I think to be able to have an opportunity to get better every day, I really enjoy that.
But it's difficult to lose sequences when you need to cut scenes or maybe pieces because of the timing. You need to cut. It's difficult as a director.
It's very difficult sometimes, but I think ultimately, you want to service the movie, and you don't want to be indulgent, and that sometimes there'll be some of my favorite shots, but I end up having to cut out of the movie because it's not serving the movie, but I'll always have that shot somewhere.
That's why we got the Blu-ray. So
exactly. Actually, there will be an extended version
Really?
of this movie because, just because of the pure ambition of this film, I've had to, for the sake of this movie, just the pacing of it, I've been able to, deliver the movie that I love. But there's also another version that I love that's longer that will be out in Blu-ray.
Wow, great to know that. And can we expect a Fast 6 movie?
We planted seeds, but the way I work is I always plan one movie at a time, and so we'll see. I think that I feel like, if the audience loves it and they want to continue the journey, we've already planted that seed and we're ready to go.